Okay, hey guys, welcome back into another edition of the Regular Guy Show, NBA DFS today. I am David. Welcome to the dungeon, and we are here for another edition of today's Pick Six. Yesterday's Pick Six wasn't great, so we're not going to spend a lot of time dwelling on it. We definitely took a loss last night, but hey, it's daily fantasy. Sometimes it happens. We're going to keep grinding at it today. I like this slate a lot better. But it's a big slate. It's going to be tough. We're going to need points tonight, guys. It's just that simple. We're going to need points. I waited as long as I could to get this video out, to still try to get it out in a reasonable time. I'm glad I did because we just had a play come through that who knows? I don't know if you guys are aware of it or not, but another really good value play came through today that I'm glad I'm going to be able to have time to share with you guys and share with it on Twitter. Before I get started, of course, if you don't mind, if you'd please hit that like button down below, if you would hit the subscribe button and hit the little notification bell. That way you get notified every time I do put out a new video. I really appreciate it if you guys would do that. Follow me on Twitter at SandoDFS. We've been having some giveaways on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter to maybe get a chance to win some free DFS dollars. Everybody can use some DFS dollars, some free money to play with. So yeah, give me a follow on Twitter and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Helps me out a bunch, gives me a reason to keep making these videos if they're helping you guys out at all. Again, a monster slate today, 12 games, I think. So generally, you guys know how I do it. When we have these many options, there's certain games that I like to target. And there are some games today that look very, very appealing to me. And we've got plenty of value that has opened up. I'll just spend a couple of minutes here. Toronto's basically sitting half their team. Detroit is basically sitting half of their team. We just had some other value open up. So there's just going to be a lot of choices for today. You're just going to have to decide which studs you think are going to have a good game and which studs you're going to want to fade for the night, because obviously we can't play everybody. I make these videos for the regular guys, not the guys that plug a bunch of names into optimizers and kick out 150 lineups. I can't afford to play 150 lineups. So I don't have time to manage 150 lineups. But we're going to put a couple lineups in tonight and hopefully get back on the winning side. So when we have this big slate like that, we think of some studs. A couple of them that come to mind that I'm just going to fade tonight, and I'll just be straight up with you about it. Giannis Antetokounmpo looks like probably a good play. He's always a good play. Giannis hasn't played over 30 minutes his last 3 games. I don't know if they can't improve their playoff seeding, so they're just kind of limiting his minutes, trying to make sure everybody's fresh for the playoffs. So Giannis is definitely somebody that if you want, you can play him. It's always a good matchup with Giannis. Who are they? Let's see, they're the later game tonight. So, yeah, against Orlando, obviously a good matchup. Orlando, bad basketball team. So on paper, he's a good matchup, but keep an eye out on the minutes. Same thing, Joel Embiid is questionable right now, and I don't think he's going to play. I think they're finally going to sit him, get him ready, make sure he's healthy maybe for the playoffs. But like last game, I think he only played 23 minutes. So I don't think I'm going to go to Embiid today, even though in a matchup against Indiana, it should be pretty high-paced matchup going back and forth. But a couple of studs that I'm going to fade for sure. But one of them that I'm not going to fade, he was part of our pick 6 a couple of nights ago, and I'm just going to go right back to him. I love the game. My favorite game on the slate is probably this Brooklyn and Chicago game. Both teams don't play very much defense. Chicago plays at a very high pace. We should be getting up and down the floor. Lots of shots to be had. And a guy that's just been killing it since he came back from injury is Vucevic. So at 10-3, I think he scored 60 fantasy points his last 3 games. So Vucevic is going to be one of my targets, 60, 60, and 56. So he'll be one of my target studs tonight. Always love targeting big men against Brooklyn. They just, they don't have anybody down there playing defense. Most of their team doesn't play defense. So a great matchup here against Brooklyn for Vucevic, and I'm just going to keep riding the train at 10-3. This is going to be a studs and scrubs slate, guys, as you can figure out. We've got a lot of good value, and we just got to pick the right studs. I'm going to go with Vucevic, and I'm going to go with the guy right across from him. He's small forward eligible now, which helps so much in the lineup build. I can sit here and give you guys a bunch of guys to play, but if they don't fit in a lineup, or you end up with, men's 2 spots where you need men's salary and you don't have anybody reliable to put in that position, then what good is it? So if it doesn't fit into a roster lineup, I can just tell you to play anybody. But this lineup will work because we're going to go through the whole damn thing today. But I'm going to go if I can get Kevin Durant for under 10K, I'm just going to get Kevin Durant for under 10K. He had one game, I think. When was it? Yeah, the game against Dallas, 20 points. Played 36 minutes, only 38 fantasy points. That's an outlier to me. I don't think that's going to happen, especially against Chicago. Nikola Vucevic has not helped Chicago's defense at all. They just don't play defense. So I'm expecting at least another 60-point game from Durant tonight. 65, 62, 64, almost 60 here. So I'm going to put, if I can get Kevin Durant at under 10K when guys like Westbrook are costing going to be over 11K. Jokic, I know today costs 11K. And he's a fine option. I'm just not going to go to him. I'll save the money and take Kevin Durant at 9,900. I think it's a smart play. Obviously, you can put other guys in there if you want, if you want to go with different studs. Okay, let's keep moving here. I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time today. We're going to need value, obviously. And we've got a really good one that I'm pretty excited about here. I'd never heard of the guy before a few nights ago. But we are going to go to Toronto. Again, they're sitting all of their guys. There's going to be a lot of guys from Toronto off the bench. They're going to get much bigger minutes tonight. I'm going to go to Jalen Harris at shooting guard at 3,100. He was really good his last game. This is not a great matchup. He played 29 minutes, 32 fantasy points. I expect him to play at least that much tonight, and maybe even more. This game certainly has blowout potential. They're certainly going to want to play as many young guys as they can, and that's why I'm willing to go to Harris. I don't know how popular he'll be tonight. I have a feeling a couple of the Raptors guys are going to be pretty popular, but we're just going to go ahead and plug him in simply because I think he's blowout proof. I believe he came off the bench last game, still played 30 minutes, but even if this game does blow out, I expect he's one of the guys that will still be out on the floor because, frankly, if Boucher doesn't play tonight, I think they're looking at 9 guys maybe that are left to play. So there's a lot of guys from Toronto that you can target as value. But for this particular pick 6, for this particular build, we're going to go to Jalen Harris. Okay, so another guy that I want to bring up that I like a lot tonight. And we're going to go to Mr. Davis from the Sacramento Kings. Another game that I like targeting. Now, again, anytime you play Oklahoma City, there is blowout potential, okay? And it can blow out really, really quick, frankly. But we're going to put Mr. Davis in here because last game, he played just as many minutes as DeLon Wright did. He's much cheaper than DeLon Wright. Davis, I think, played almost 30 minutes last time. Yeah, he played 30 minutes. I think DeLon Wright played like 32. So De'Aaron Fox is out there still splitting up these minutes between Davis and Wright. And Wright's price has gotten up there a little bit too expensive for my taste. I can play Terrence Davis and pretty much get the same amount of minutes for a much bigger discount. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, if your lineup you feel like you want to play DeLon Wright and he's been a little bit more consistent, then go ahead. But I think Davis is going to get just as many minutes, if not more, than DeLon Wright because, again, I think this game has so much blowout potential. We're going to stay right there in that game when we look to another great value play, in my opinion. We're going to put Metu in at power forward for this pick 6. He'd been dealing with injury, hadn't been playing much at all, and then had been having his minutes limited. But last game, and it was against OKC. Again, this is a rematch. 13 points, 31 fantasy points, rather, in 27 minutes. So his minutes are going to continue, I think, to be at least around 30 as we go forward. And again, he's a guy that I think would play a few more minutes in a blowout situation. So I'm going to go have two guys from Sacramento in today's pick six. I like both of them. Meadows a very productive player when he gets the minutes. And again, I think he would be more likely to stay on the floor longer if this game were to blow out. So our last official pick for our pick six today is a guy it's a little bit dependent on Frank Jackson Jr. So I'm going to put Saben Lee in as my point guard today. Saben Lee hadn't really been playing a lot of minutes, but again, Detroit is running out of people, and Frank Jackson Jr. is questionable again today. Let's double check that, but I'm almost positive. So this play is mainly if Frank Jackson sits out, because if he does, I think Saben Lee will continue to get about as many minutes as he did last game when Frank Jackson sat out. He had 32 minutes, 28 fantasy points, somewhere around a point per minute player. He can be productive, and I think if Jackson sits out, we could certainly see a few more minutes than normal. So just keep that in mind when you're building your lineup. If there's another guard that you think maybe you might want to go to, in fact, I'll just give you another option here that he's been playing really well. We could go to Rivers for, we're still spending a little bit more money there. I didn't realize they jacked his price up that much. But anyway, Rivers is a good play. I don't think Monte Morris is going to play tonight. He's questionable, but I think he's probably going to miss at least one more game. So Rivers has been very, very good lately. He won't split up any minutes with Morris, but if Morris would come back, then I think maybe Rivers, some of Rivers' minutes could be limited, but as well as he played, that might not even be the case. So that would be a different option at point guard if you're not comfortable with Saben Lee. I'm fine playing Saben Lee if Frank Jackson Jr. misses, and if not, then we can rearrange things and maybe go a little bit different direction. So the pick six officially for today: Saben Lee, Harris, Durant, Metu, Vucevic, Davis. We're gonna continue because right before I started making this video, I got a very important piece of information, and maybe many of you guys did too if you're following at Fantasy Labs. Jonas Valanciunas from Memphis is going to miss the game today, as well as Jaren Jackson Jr. So with no J-Val, if I made 10 lineups today, I'm going to put him in all 10 of them. I don't make 10 lineups, but if I were, I think one of the most absolute lock values that you could find today is going to be Xavier Tillman at 3,600. That's about it for Memphis as far as centers go, true centers. Brandon Clark, they could move him into the starting lineup. I don't think they will. Keep an eye on that. If for some reason Tillman wouldn't start, I guess we could look at somebody like Clark, and he would get additional minutes, and he would be a good play. But hopefully they start Tillman, and Tillman should get starters minutes, and Xavier Tillman is a very productive player when he gets minutes on the floor. So I absolutely love Xavier Tillman as a play today. I'm just going to pretty much plug him in either my center utility position if I make a couple more lineups and leave him there. And so that leaves us with, who's our last guy? Yeah, we've got $11,000 left at forward. So I am going to plug in this man right here. He should have been a core in the pick six. I kind of got confused on my notes here. I wasn't going to put Saben Lee as part of the pick six because, again, I think he's a little dependent on Frank Jackson. But Sabonis has been crushing, just crushing. Probably still a little bit too cheap at 10-4 the way he's been playing. And we get word once again that we're not going to have Malcolm Brogdon, I don't believe. Okay, Brogdon's still questionable. So if Brogdon plays, some of that usage comes back. But I know Jeremy Lamb got ruled out for today. I think I'm not sure who else got ruled out for. Let me just double check here real quick and see if I can find it. No, I don't have it right in front of me. Anyway, I'm going to go to Sabonis, and for another reason, if I don't think Joel Embiid's going to play. So if he doesn't play, he'll have a much easier time down around the basket. Embiid, Ben Simmons, those guys are pretty good defenders, so it's not a great matchup, but I think Sabonis is absolutely matchup proof right now. So pick 6 plus 2, there's my lineup. I can tell you right now, depending on what other value might open up and if I have to change something with this Saban Lee thing, this is pretty much a lineup I'm going to put in. But the core pieces of today's pick 6, we'll take out Metu. So today's pick 6 is technically Harris from Toronto, Durant, Vucevic from Chicago, Davis from Sacramento, Sabonis from Indiana, and Tillman from Memphis. But again, you saw what I had up there before. I think it's a pretty good lineup, and I might just end up playing that one. So tried to keep this video as short as I could, guys. Tried to get it out in time for you guys to have a chance to look at it. Again, follow me on Twitter at SandoDFS. We're going to put out another contest today for somebody to maybe have a chance to win some DFS money. Please like, please subscribe, please hit the notification bell. Please leave a comment down below. And if you do follow me on Twitter, when I put the tweet out for today's pick 6, if you retweet that, I would certainly appreciate it. And again, that's going to be part of one of our prizes today. So good luck to everybody tonight. Good luck to all of us. I will talk to you tomorrow. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Pick 6.